What's up? And welcome into a sweet edition of the CF After Dark Post-Postgame show. Iowa State advances to their third Sweet 16 in 5 years with a 82-63 win over the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm Matthias Schwarzkopf. With me is Tom the Mustache Turner and Levi Stevenson. We are presented by the Iowa Distilling Company out of Cumming, Iowa. Go get your post-game beverages with them. Let's fill it up. Let's fill it up. Iowa State's on to the Sweet 16, boys.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. You know,
what a ball game.
I know it's like early on, people start panicking a little bit when Kentucky was just kind of getting stuff what they wanted in the backside.
Throwing the haymakers.
So with backdoor cuts and all that. But, you know, it was a matter of just like, okay, we'll settle down. Like, these guys will get in the rhythm. Eventually, the Iowa State defense will take over. And, like, I think we talked about it I think we talked about it on Friday too. We're like, over time, this defense is a terrible matchup for Kentucky. Terrible matchup. And sure as shit, they had a bad time. They had a bad time.
There were some fellas
that Turner up here in front of the library once again.
I had to bring it back. I a little scared that first ever show was behind the library, and then coming back here for this show, that was in my mind. But second half, didn't need to worry about it at all.
Yeah. Eventually, I mean, you're aware that at some point in this show, we're going to ask you to start peeling books off that shelf.
Rip the whole fucking thing off the wall and take it with you.
I'm pretty much probably. I would imagine it's probably a built-in, from what I can tell. It looks like a built-in where it's like actually
it is, but
the wall. Yeah,
peel it off, brings it to Chicago, no problem.
Yeah.
What is Kentucky fans feeling running Calipari out of Lexington to watch him go to 2 straight Sweet 16s and to watch Mark Pope shit it down his leg? Obviously, Kentucky went to Sweet 16 last year, but year 2 of the Mark Pope era, they want him gone.
Yeah, more like Mark Poop.
Mark Poop is right. Well, let's jump right into this. Tam Lipy, big day. Obviously, the offense started off quite slow, but Tam Lipy ended the day with 26 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond deep. Looked like he had it in lockdown mode right out of the gate in the second half. Obviously, the three-point shooting wasn't great in the first half, but made critical ones down the stretch by Momcilovic and Nate Heisey there. But real gutsy performance there in the first half, but then everything just fell right into place in the second half, just doing what they're supposed to do, playing defense and letting the defense create the offense.
And also Taman with 5 big boy steals on the day.
Taman's 26 points was also a career high.
I think I tweeted this out after the game from the CF After Dark account. Like, this might be the new clubhouse leader for like the Tam Lipy legacy game. Like, he's played so many big games in his entire career.
Little takes cards all around. Let's go.
We're going car early. Love it. Vibes are high.
Vibes are high.
We don't need a slump buster. We'll just have a cameo.
We'll have a cameo. They say word.
Oh, fuck.
Man.
Did he find it? Oh,
there we go. There we got it.
Forgot the old camera was in a different spot.
Love it.
There we go. Okay.
The old trusty steed.
Yeah, the trusty steed is absolutely correct. Hell yeah. Holy shit. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Thank you for the donation, Chris.
Shout out,
Holy
Chris.
shit. Thank you. That's going in the CF After Dark tailgate beer fund for sure. Yeah, today I know early on people were panicking a little bit because Kentucky did like the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 possessions, something like that. They were able to get a couple backdoor cuts. They got to cut those couple corner threes. And it looked to me like I would say it had made a defensive adjustment, and people were, and the guy, like, they were doing something a little bit different to cover those backdoor screens than usual. And it just took them a second to kind of get into that. But because, you know, from there on, they got nothing. Like, they were suffocated from about the 12-minute mark, 14-minute mark of the first half till the last whistle blew. Kentucky was in hell. And it was just fabulous.
They just continue to play intense defense with also understanding you have to protect the back cut. Because that was the problem right away with 2 back cuts that led open to Chandler threes. One of them with a crazy bounce off the backboard. But it was like Kentucky's offense right now kind of stinks. And it's really just back cuts that are opening things up. And then midway through the first half, all of a sudden their offense is starting at the half court line. We pushed them back so far. They were running motion when it was almost an over and back every single time. And it was just awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was
kicking.
I was running through some things here real quick here. So
that was
kickball.
He kicked it out.
Yeah,
Tom was driving
kickball.
The hoop. Levi pitched it, and then Matthias.
And then I gave you.
I was sitting on the bench still. Hadn't got into the game yet.
I gave you the extra pass to the corner, and it just
30-second timeout. All right, let's get back into this thing. Off the record here. Off the record, of course. Yeah, I think I tweeted out, I think it was yesterday after they really officially ruled, which we all kind of assumed that Jefferson wasn't going to play, but I tweeted out yesterday, I think the path, and I kind of want to jump and see anywhere remotely close, but I had Taman with 15 plus, check. Momcilovic with 20 plus, he was at 20, check. I had Torrey with 10 plus, check. He was at 10. Let's see, Blake / Plata at 12. Where were we at? 9. Oh, 10. Not a check. And that was and Bateman with 10 plus, which he had 3. So, 3 out of 5, not bad. But Nate Heisey with 12. Torrey with 10, we just already alluded to, but 46 points from Taman and Momcilovic. Big day.
There's a lot of guys that deserve a lot of credit for just stepping up when the going's gotten tough recently. Nate Heisey is maybe chief among them because if you look at his Ken Pom category, he's nearly invisible because he just goes out and just does his thing, and that's it. That's just what he does. He just does his thing, and he. When Jefferson went down against Tennessee State and then tonight too, like he's, now that his role is increased and he's got more to do on offense, he's taking guys off the dribble from the wing. He's driving at the hoop. He's doing a lot more offensively because he just knows he needs to step up, and it's just fabulous. And I do want to give some credit here also to Dominic Nelson. He didn't play like a ton tonight. He played what?
4 minutes.
He only played 4 minutes, but like all 4 minutes of those were at the end of the first half, and he made an awesome, like there was a sequence there at the last couple possessions. I think I tweeted about this a couple times where they had a chance to get a 2-for-1 because they stole the ball, went back down to the other end. Milan had to pass up a shot, kicked it over to Dom Nelson in the corner, and with about 39 seconds on the clock, he immediately drove it at the rim, got the foul, made one of the free throws, and preserved a 2-for-1 for Iowa State, which ended up being a 3. So like that little sequence there when, that took Iowa State from down 3 to up 1 going into the half. So like he only played 4 minutes, but those 4 minutes he played were so valuable.
You really look at Bateman as the only role player that didn't really play great, and he was still huge, was spacing the floor. He had a big 3. He was good at rebounding, but like Plata was big down low. And you talk about Dom. Dom made some big plays with the 4 minutes that he played with. And then you can't forget about Heisey. Like Heisey played so well. There was plays he's just beating these Kentucky guards off the dribble. Nate Heisey beating these Kentucky guards off the dribble. It was insane, and he beat them with ease.
God forbid a white boy have a little motion,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. A little motion here doesn't hurt nobody.
A little motion for Nate Heisey doesn't hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick,
just because I saw Andrew in the chat shit talking about buying the little Tykes car for us. I'm trying to figure out how to properly share my screen without like giving away my home address. But it is currently, I have the order confirmation from Target right here. It's coming.
Wait, are you showing it or?
I'm just trying to figure out like a good way to not show my fucking home address on the internet.
Well, it'd be a real bummer if you buy this Tykes car and then disaster hits next Friday.
Yeah. Well, that would. Well, but I'll still have it for football season. Okay, I think I found the solution. There you go. We've got the quantity right there. It's going to ship all that. There we go. Order details, confirmation, all that. Little Tyke's car incoming.
On route.
Speaking of coming, we should say thank you to our friends over at the Iowa Distilling Company over there in Cumming, Iowa. Just celebrated their 14th anniversary. You guys are all well familiar with their hits: 1858 vodka, Prairie Fire, Prairie Fire cinnamon whiskey, Saints and Sinners apple pie. They've got lots of good stuff. We love Cumming. You guys love Cumming. You guys should all go to Cumming and pick up some and we'll stop into Iowa Distilling's tasting room, which I've heard is very awesome. I've not been there yet, but I'm going there very soon. Great time over there. You can find it at lots of bars around the Des Moines metro area, and you can find lots and lots of liquor stores as well all across Iowa. So thank you to our friends over at the Iowa Distilling Company. There's the shotgun. Fuck, that was quick.
There's the shotgun. I just saw this comment right there. Justin said, if we get Tennessee, Kentucky beat them twice this year. Watched both those games. It was Kentucky that out-physicaled Tennessee. That Kentucky team out-physicaled Tennessee, just to put it in perspective.
I was just going to ask, what would be the overall preference here? I mean, I know, the ACC has its question marks, but Duke looked pretty good against TCU yesterday. And Virginia's had their moments against, Duke. But, I mean, that's a game-to-game comparison. It's hard to really, smash those two together. But at this current time, what would be the preference on Friday?
Tennessee.
I don't really know. I haven't watched too much Virginia. I know they have a top 3 shot blocker, top 5, and Dallin Hall's their point guard, and they have a couple shooters. But Tennessee, Jacoby Gillespie is very good, and he's probably a top 10 guard in the nation. They have a lottery pick down low at their power forward spot. But it's also Rick Barnes in the tournament, and I would love to play that.
Maybe the one thing that
Hell yeah, Chad. I don't know.
One of the things that gives me maybe like a touch of pause about picking Tennessee is actually ranked higher on Ken Palm than Virginia. Even though Tennessee is the 6 seed and Virginia is the 3 seed, part of the reason that Tennessee is the 6 seed is because they kind of fell apart down the stretch because they couldn't score, and that may just continue. But in the past, they haven't been a bad offensive team all season. It's really just kind of recently because they lost 3 of 4 down the stretch, then lost to Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament. So that's one of the reasons they just kind of fell apart. That's one of the reasons they dropped down to a 6 seed.
I see a couple comments about Virginia being tall.
Like ceiling is probably in the neighborhood of like a 3 or 4 seed. So as far as I'm concerned, Tennessee and Virginia are essentially the same quality team.
Yeah.
Now
in terms of height, I saw a couple comments about Virginia's height and big. Their average height is 66 in the country, and for reference, Kentucky is 18th. So take that for what you want, and then according to Tennessee,
I don't think I buy too much into
Tennessee's
like
38.
Iowa State can't deal with length or something like. I don't buy.
Yeah,
into
it's more of the combination of height and physicality. Like the Arizona bigs, for instance, those are the bigs that give Iowa State the most trouble. I don't know if Virginia, like they're physical in nature, always have been, but they're not to the power of physicality that Arizona possesses. So, Iowa State dealt with the height really well today. A lot of different actions down low to combat that. A lot of different actions up top to spring some of the Tam Lipy layups that we saw early on in the first half when they were struggling from deep. So, I mean, there's things like that you could do, offensively to kind of combat that around. And then obviously the rebounding is a thing. But Iowa State held their own, really well today on the glass. I mean, you look at Kentucky had 30 rebounds, Iowa State at 31. So that was a thing to be worried about going into this one, obviously without Jefferson, because Jefferson is, for all intents and purposes, a really good rebounder and gives you that ability to help, Buchanan and play it down low. But Iowa State as a team, did really well rebounding by committee today. And I think, is Jefferson gonna play Friday? Probably, maybe, I don't know. But if he even plays at 60%, you still got to have the same type of concerted effort that you did today against Kentucky.
So it's confirmed we play Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
It's Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want kind of just like a quick, the thing with, I think there are there's particular points of either matchup with Tennessee or Virginia that like you can look at as like, okay, this works in Iowa State's favor or this works in Iowa State's favor, but they're different. Like if you're looking at Virginia, one of the things that you do like to see is that they are one of the slowest teams in college basketball. And when you're asked, like grinding out long possessions against Iowa State's defense is really bad. That's hard. That's really, really difficult to do over the entire game. Now, they're effective at doing it just as Virginia always is. Like they're good at finding shots and good at knocking them down. And they are a competent 3-point shooting team from multiple spots. You know, they're 44th in the country in team percentage. They've got one guy that shoots almost 45%, another one that shoots 41. So they got Sam Lewis shoots 41, Jakari White shoots 45%, and then their two major contributors, DeRitter and Malik Thomas, shoot 34 and 35%. So they're competent for 3-point shooters at most of their guard spots, but they're like a very, very slow team. Which I think causes a lot of problems for other teams. I mean, the way to get through Iowa State's defense is quick passing, and if you can get them in transition, that's good. But otherwise, quick passing, keep stuff moving around and just keep the ball flying around. But that's not really Virginia's game so much. They're grinding out long possessions in the half court, and I think that's really hard to do against Iowa State in over 40 minutes.
And Tennessee is all Jacoby Gillespie. He averages 18 a game for them. He's their go-to guy. He was at Maryland the year before when they made the Sweet 16. The offense runs through him, and then their lottery pick down low, Nate Amit. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right, but he's been pretty good. He was injured midway through the year. He's come back, and like Levi said, with that offensive slump, it was kind of due to him coming back from that injury. They really haven't connected with it yet. You saw them play well against Miami of Ohio, but that was kind of just SEC against Miami of Ohio right there with the
physicality. The only thing initially when I'm looking at Tennessee's scouting report, obviously we're getting way ahead of this because they still haven't even played, but I look at Tennessee's scouting report. The only thing that really bothers me a little bit is the way they get to the offensive glass. They are the number one rebounding or offensive rebounding team in the country. And Iowa State and at certain times this year has really struggled giving up second chance opportunities. Mainly like Texas Tech, Arizona games, prior to the Big 12 tournament. But, they've been really good at limiting those opportunities since getting to Kansas City and being on this tournament run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tennessee is a team that we've talked about with the offense struggling, maybe comes back to life. But when it kind of goes both ways, when you are a really good offensive rebounding team and that leads to offensive buckets, when you're not rebounding, your offense really doesn't have anything to go, especially when we have a guy or two, maybe even three with Heisey that can slow down Jacoby Gillespie.
The thing with Tennessee as well that I do like to see is they're just not a good 3-point shooting team at all. And we've seen it now. The way you beat Iowa State is you knock down 3-point shot. You knock down the few open 3-point shots you're going to get. You knock them down. And you use that to get Iowa State to over rotate there and then get room in the paint. If you can't get Iowa State to over rotate out to the perimeter and leave the paint open, then you're going to have a lot of trouble. Because if Iowa State is allowed to pack the paint defensively, you're in deep shit. And Kentucky found that out today because while Iowa State wasn't packing the paint necessarily, Kentucky's lack of shooting allowed them to guard way out, and they were able. I mean, Kentucky was having to run their offense from 3 feet inside the half court line. They had to run offense so far out from the basket that it just didn't matter, because by the time they were getting trapped and by the time they were able to get passes into the lane, there was guys in there picking them off. They had active hands in there poking balls out and picking off passes and all that. Like, Kentucky was in a bad shape today because Iowa State didn't have to. Iowa State's rotations didn't have to get around so quickly to find open shooters because Kentucky just wasn't knocking anything down. You had the first couple, and in credit to Iowa State too, is after Kentucky knocked down those first couple that they didn't immediately start like panicking and then, like I said, then over rotating back into that corner to close that out and then leaving another a drive open or something like that. They did a great job of not letting those two makes take away the game plan and just saying, hey, if we get in these dudes' faces and we start pressuring them, they're going to fold because they are undisciplined. They are bad passers. They have, outside of Oway, they have basically no playmakers. Like you couldn't.
There was no way for Oway today.
Yeah. Like you couldn't design a defense in a lab better matched up against Kentucky. And
he did have 18 points, so credit, he did his thing. Aberdeen had 20.
Dudes get buckets, but Tennessee has many of the same disadvantages that Kentucky does. They are just not great shooters. They're like okay passers, but they're not great passers.
Shotgun's already done.
Yeah, shotgun's already done. Yeah. So like, that's the thing is Tennessee, you can use a lot of the same game plan for Tennessee that you did for Kentucky. And they have a lot of the same weaknesses. I think you'd rather play Tennessee because they're less of a complete team. Virginia is one that like they're also a good defensive team. And if they're able to grind out possessions and find open shots with 5 seconds left in the shot clock and find open threes and knock them down, that obviously can give Iowa State some problems. So I think Iowa State can match up well with either of them, but I think you'd probably take Tennessee personally.
I think I'd agree.
Good segue here for all of us to jump in here. The Cyclones are going to the Sweet 16. So go to CycloneFanaticShop.com and you can save 60% off on all orders over $50 by using the code SWEET16. I saw a man, I'll give him a shout out here. You might have made the order a little early here, but shout out for the order anyways to Nate on Twitter, Tyrese ISU. He just went and bought 4 Cyclone Fanatic shirts for Tam Lipy, Joshua Jefferson, and Nate Heisey. He just ripped that off right after the game. But if you still need your shirts for these guys, everything up here, anything on the Cyclone Fanatic shop, use code SWEET16. Get her done. The guys are really good. You might even have them before the Sweet 16 game. So,
yeah.
I'm not guaranteeing order delivery by the Sweet 16 either.
I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Crystal, but
Martz is really good at getting this stuff out, but he's probably going to be bombarded this week. Sorry, Martz, if you're, I didn't mean to throw you there, but
sorry to the CF.
Get to work, man.
We just accidentally overpromised, but you know what? You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We believe in you.
We're just here. But yeah, also Nate Heisey's mom and family repping the shirts too. Nate Heisey's sister before the game was repping before her game on I think it was Wednesday or Thursday had his shirt on too. So go and get your NIL merch today.
Hell yeah. And we did get some confirmation the other day that CF After Dark merch is very shortly inbound.
OTW.
Not just on the way, but like soon. So Sci Fancy here, we'll chug here in a little bit. Matias did already shotgun, but we will I like that Tom's a Muppet in that one. That's great.
Muppet looks good.
Muppet Tom's actually a pretty good look for you, honestly. Plus your mustache already kind of looks like the Swedish shape.
It's better than the Avatar. A lot better than the Avatar.
Avatar, the stashed airbender is.
I did a
Hall of Fame meme right there.
I did a Cyclone fan follow train today, and I let it go for a while, and there's like 300 people that it was basically you comment an emoji and then you like everybody's emoji and follow back everybody who liked your stuff. Well, anyways, I let it go for a while, didn't look at it, and I started scrolling through and seeing who was commenting what and stuff, and I get about halfway down. And then there was Avatar Tom in a little Tykes car, just like this, strolling down the street. Good on him.
The Tykes car with the legs out looks very realistic.
It's unsettling.
Yeah, you and CW both in the Tykes car was a little troublesome.
Yeah, we should give credit to Lance Armstrong's left nut for the Muppet.
Shut up.
Shout out Lance Armstrong's left nut.
I'm kind of curious.
The bike rider.
I think I was talking to like Jackson Pence before the game, and I said like, you'd still wish you like had Jefferson, obviously, but like this particular matchup, I felt like was an okay one for Iowa State without Jefferson, specifically because Jefferson does best against teams where he can be a little bit more physical or a little bit more taller or a little bit taller, and he can take guys in the post off the dribble and things like that. That's where I think Jefferson exceeds. But Kentucky's got length, and they have length and athleticism, which has in the past given Joshua some trouble.
Sweet 16 is the code. Sorry, Levi. Sweet 16 is the code.
Yeah, Sweet 16 is the code, not Sweet Caroline. And it's sweet than the number 16,
16,
not
yes.
sweet word 16.
Yes, here,
It's
real quick.
1-6.
We'll leave this up here for a little bit because people are still Sweet 16 code. Just we'll leave this up here for a second. 1 second. I'm fucking blazing hot here.
But anyways.
But yeah, so I felt like this one was like if there was a matchup against a 7 seed that you thought like you'd be able to survive that without Joshua Jefferson just based on matchups and play style. Again, you obviously would rather have Joshua Jefferson. But like this one felt more survivable just because of the matchups, and Kentucky wasn't going to be able to focus on a guy. You weren't going to have that size and athleticism counter to Joshua Jefferson. So I would say was able to play. I think the offense looked a little bit more free because of that. And they did a really good job getting shooters open. Pretty much whole game. The first half, they obviously missed a bunch of them, but Jamarian Bateman had a number of open shots. Tam Lipy had a bunch of them. Nate Heisey had a number of open shots. Hell, Blake Buchanan found one there at the end of the game. Which I'm not saying he should take them. Blake's outside stroke
in that
isn't
moment,
terrible.
In that moment, that was it was funny that he took it. He's like, this is the first time we're up 20.
That was the second attempt because the first one he got close. Yeah, he got real close on the first one. And
when was that?
And we were all, was that the?
Oh no! So he's 0 for 2. That's down bad.
Was it the Texas Tech game in the tournament?
That's down bad.
But he Buchanan's outside stroke isn't terrible. It's like there is a universe in which he's like a reasonably you're okay with him taking 1 or 2 a game type of.
I'm just saying, but
guy.
this is a thing for next year. But Plata stroking a 3 next year is going to feed families.
Oh.
It's gonna happen.
He's playing out of position and playing and doing things he didn't do in Europe.
Damn, you leave my mother out of here. Damn. Yeah, but that's the thing for next year. But Plata did shoot the ball in Europe from deep. It's in that arsenal. It's just he's not being asked to do it. And TJ's telling him specifically to not do it, but it's in there. And that, ooh, oh baby.
Yeah. Gosh, just everybody that played had a good game. There wasn't really anybody maybe you could say Jamarian Bateman struggled. Because he went 1 for 8, but he played a lot of good minutes and made a lot of defensively. Jamarian Bateman was really, really good. And early in the game, you could tell
he was a little excited.
You could tell he was amped up because there was he was missing shots, and one of them was way left, one of them was a little short, one of them was long. So he was missing them all over the place, which is how you can kind of tell he's a little his energy is just a little too high. But he eventually settled in, canned a 3 later on, and played really, really well. On defense. So
I've been seeing everybody post this on Twitter and stuff. Is this from the guy on CBS saying hi Z? Is that where everybody's getting that from?
Maybe.
I was just going with it. I don't know. Where's it even from?
On Twitter a bunch, but
yeah, what's it from, chat? Where's the hi Z from?
Yeah.
Curious. I think it is that guy, but
Blake Buchanan had 9 points.
Yeah, it's from that guy.
3 of 8 shooting, but he was 3 of 4 from the line for 1, which for Blake, awesome. 2, I thought Blake was stellar defensively. I thought he was really, really good on defense. I was pleasantly surprised. Not surprised. I shouldn't say surprised. He's a good defender, but I thought Blake Buchanan was one of obviously its best defenders today, especially in the low post. I thought he did a really, really nice job. Because that's where Kentucky. That's where they wanted to make hay was down, just down at the rim basically. And Blake Buchanan, for the most part, did a really, really nice job. He had a couple steals, I think, didn't he? 2 steals. He didn't technically have a block, but I thought he did a good job. His 4 rebounds are a low number, but I think that was, there were, because it was 4 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds. We had 8 total rebounds. good game. I thought that's a good game from Blake Buchanan. You don't need him to go for 20, 9 and 8 with a couple steals. Perfect.
You needed him to be consistent, and that's what he was. 4 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds, 8 in total, 9 points. There was a couple times he was getting sealed on drives, and it was similar to the back cuts where it's like, this isn't a big problem. We can fix this at a media timeout. This isn't a big deal. We fix it just like the back cuts, and all of a sudden their drives weren't open. Their drives were contested. They were missing them. We got runouts, and that's kind of how things went. All the problems with that game, they were just small problems that we fixed on the fly. Shout out the coaching staff. Shout out everybody involved. And it proved why we just won by 20 plus in the second half, or close to 20.
So a comment here is I wonder why Nelson didn't play more. He played Good Friday. Nelson only played 4 minutes, but his 4 minutes were awesome. He was really good. Part of the reason he didn't play as much is because you're generally not going to have, because you're only going to have 2 of Tam Lipy, Killian Toure, and Dominic Nelson on the floor at the same time. And Nelson and Toure and Taman were having incredible games. And Taman was not playing with foul trouble like he was on Friday too. So don't take Dom Nelson only having 4 minutes a day as I'm not sure why he's not playing. I mean, the 2 guys that are playing that are in front of him are also playing some of the best basketball they've played, in the entire season. Tam Lipsy's playing some of the best basketball of his entire career right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just coming down to, especially with Jefferson being out, it's you're hockey subbing people, right? You're getting them to the breaks of the TV timeout, right. Which hockey doesn't necessarily sub people that way, but in ways they do. But
right.
He's you looked at Taman getting subbed out at the 16:44 mark in the second half, I think it was, after he hit 2 big threes. And I'm thinking in my head, why take him out? But then you look at the time, you're 16:44, immediate timeouts coming out, but then he comes right back in. So it's more of just about spelling the starters to get them that extra 5 minutes of rest, because the TV timeouts are so long. So he's just playing the numbers game with the clock at that point, and it's just a matter of who he's going to use in that moment. In the first half, obviously Dom Nelson was in that portion, but second half was the game was out of hand, or was starting to get out of hand. And I don't know, you're right in the hot hands at that point too, because Tam Lipy was playing so well, and you just didn't really want to take him out that long.
I need to address some slander in the chat here real quick. He says, Told Dragman says, if you guys aren't going to drink, I guess I will drink one. I've already cooked a beer.
I literally just downed.
And he just shotgunned one. And I've got another one right here in the chamber that I'm going to smash here in about 2 minutes. And so we're drinking beer here, man. Yeah, he's got the car. I've already shown and maybe potentially doxed myself, proving I've got the car coming.
Potentially.
Good question here. That's a good question for you, Tom. Are we baiting teams by giving them early back cuts and then shutting it down?
Great question by Steve.
I don't hate that theory. I don't hate the theory.
There's no insight to that. Love the theory, though, because what did they do? They immediately picked up their dribble looking for a back cut, and all of a sudden the offense was dead. And then here comes a double with 8 on the shot clock, and you're in the corner. I don't know if that's a real thing, but that just goes to what I was going to say. If I had a player of the game, Taman is number 1, and number 2, I give it to the coaching staff, because I thought Nate Schmidt, that last play in the first half, excellent. It was executed. Yeah. It was a great play call. Shout out Nate, where credit is due. Good job on that. TJ rallying the troops, everything he does. The team was ready to go. Little bit of a slow start, but guess what? They didn't stop at all. Halftime came out ready to go. Crawford, who, don't quote me, I believe does the out of bounds plays, that awesome alley-oop there. The whole coaching staff was ready to go. The whole team was. What an effort. Sweet 16. Hashtag pumped. Hashtag feels like 44.
I didn't just fail another chug. It wasn't as great as the first one. Down bad here.
The first one wasn't a chug. I mean, I do feel like at times people conflate chugging and shotgunning. They're 2 different skills.
All right, chat's getting a little horny now. Let's wait. I've already said we're going tarps off if Iowa State wins the national title here, folks. We're 4 games away from me.
If they go to the Final Four, I'll go tarps off. I don't need to win the.
Iowa State wins the national title. I am going to risk it all live on camera. We're going fucking straight OnlyFans for free here.
We're also trying to not get banned off YouTube, so
we won't. My pants will stay. Yeah, they'll stay on.
Yeah, chat has to go tarps off too.
Chat obviously has to go.
Yeah, chat obviously has to go tarps off. It's funny though, because I've been getting more messages and stuff recently of just like people in the chat and stuff like that, all getting little Tykes cards and stuff like that too.
We've started a very odd movement, but I'm here for it.
It's a movement, man.
Start of the championship DVD, the Tech Stars.
It might be. It honestly might be.
Just saying. Austin wanted to get back on camera and get back in the little Tykes card. I'm like, you can't, because now you reverse the voodoo.
Austin is in the shower for most of our shows, I think.
No, not that Austin. Austin.
Austin
Keeney.
Oh, Keeney. Yeah, Keeney. Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to get back in the car. I'm like, no, you can't. Once you've already reversed the juju, you can't redo it again. You just wait.
And I'm not going to publicly discuss this, but we have not. This is off the record, right? No.
Off the record.
We have not.
Off the record.
We haven't totally discussed a game plan for what happens if they just kind of keep winning.
Does anybody have a plan for that? None of us do.
Nobody's got a game plan for that.
Probably rent an ambulance or something just in case.
We haven't had a game plan for an Elite 8 game since 2000. I mean, come on.
Let's say you go to Chicago and you murk Tennessee and Michigan. Like, what's the game plan? I don't know.
Party.
Surely we have to all be together, right? Like, we all got to be in the same room and do this thing, do it right?
I mean, Indianapolis is only 9 hours from me, which would be about 6 from you.
It's only 9 hours from you?
Mm-hmm. Taylor Harris and I looked it up the other day while we were sitting here in the garage. 9 hours from Spencer.
Oh, this is not helpful. Okay, let's see.
So it's probably 6 from
Spencer,
you.
It is 9 hours and 40 minutes. So I mean, I guess it's most of 10 hours.
Oh, if you ramp a few cornfields, you cut that down to 9, no problem.
Well, the great part about Iowa's roads are those it's a grid. Why would you ramp cornfield? I mean, you can just drive in a straight line.
For the culture.
Great answer.
That was the point of setting them up in grids, is so that you can just go right to wherever you want to go.
I mean, Dukes of Hazzard could have done that too, but they still ramped a river.
Unless you're in Northeast Iowa, in which all roads get.
So what is it? Is it 6 from you then?
Let's see, because I'd have to jump down to Davenport to hop on 80. But
shout out Steve Kemp. He made travel plans a month ago.
It is.
Wow.
Well, Steve, if you feel like swinging over through Eastern Iowa and picking me up on the way there, there's a very good way to get to
Kansas City
Chicago.
is on the way.
What?
I think.
To Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, anything's on the way if you plan it that way.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's on the way.
Because from where I'm at, you go up through Dubuque and then across the top part of Illinois through Rockford and then down in.
Oh, you're going to Murphy's Bleachers for the Final Four, Steve? Or for next week? Yes, yeah. Murphy's Bleachers is a great bar. If
I think
you are going to go
there once,
as anyone would. Yes, Murphy's Bleacher, great bar. If you're going to Chicago, hit that up. Steve, when's your game? Or is that the? That's a Game Watch.
That's the Game Watch. Yeah. So.
2 of the last 3 Sweet 16s for IFC have been Chicago, right? 2016, 2022.
That sounds right. Yep.
That sounds right. Yeah. So we're due.
Yeah. The tricky part is once you get to in Chicago, if you win and then play Michigan, Michigan's going to have a lot of people in Chicago. A lot of people.
Yeah, so are we. So fuck them.
We are.
You think we'll be the first game or the second game on Sunday? Probably second.
Couldn't tell you.
I would assume second because they'll probably put Michigan first in the 7 o'clock slot.
Yeah. Because what is it? 7? It's 7 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Eastern is what they do, right?
Something
probably
like that.
Should be 6 and 8. Yeah.
Well, no. Well, they probably wouldn't start them right after each other. They'd probably have a little gap there, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna let a Final Four game bleed into a different Final Four, or an Elite Eight game bleed into a different Elite Eight game. They would have a half an hour break between them or an hour break between them or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I'll be doing the same thing.
Cyclone at Murphy's Bleachers?
Oh, that's fun.
I believe it.
All right. Tom, we've got a book request. The white book, right shoulder, middle. So over your right shoulder, middle shelf, white book. I think it's probably the one on the end. Yeah, the one on the end. Nope.
Where?
Left.
Right here?
Left. Nope. Keep going around. Nope. Other way. There you go.
Right there.
Right there. Yeah, that book right there on the end. What is it?
It's how to make pottery. What?
Show it to the
How to
folks.
make pottery. Tom says, what?
Show it to the people.
I'm reading it.
You're reading the book?
This one.
What?
No, I'm not
Ooh,
picking that
big
one.
big
Off the record,
weekend.
not
Big weekend in Chicago here. The Cyclones play Friday. The Cubs are on opening day. Opening day for the Cubs on
Streets might
Thursday. I
be
forgot.
Who needs to read when you're in the Sweet 16? Come on, guys.
Did Matias burn himself? I usually do. Yeah. You can go to Chicago early on Thursday, go to the Cubs opening day game against the Nationals.
Wow, that's actually crazy.
That'd be a heck of a weekend. And then you get you win on Friday. Ooh. Then hit up the Cubs on Saturday again.
Saturday, isn't it a day game, right? Or no, that's Fridays.
Well,
they always have to play day games, right?
More than likely a day game for the Cubs. So you could have a hell of a weekend in Chicago if Iowa State keeps winning. And I don't think
you put all the money on the trip on Florida to cover against Iowa tonight. Step 2, that money goes towards the trip. Step 3, watch Iowa State go to the Final Four. Boom. That's simple.
Okay, so let's look here. Let's take a look at the Chicago weather on Friday.
Lance Armstrong's left nut says, if we win the Natty, I'm strongly considering a Milan corner 3 tat with my aerial.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right, for those of you who are going to Chicago on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're looking at 65 degrees on Thursday. Ooh, Friday turns down to 38 degrees. Not so great. 47 on Saturday, 52 on Sunday. So not bad.
Yeah, that's not terrible. I mean, they're also playing indoors, so that's good.
The house that Jordan built. Fuck yeah.
Why are we talking about weather for a basketball tournament, by the way?
Well, I mean, you're going to be traveling there. You're going to be doing stuff outside. Yeah, vibe. Like you get 65 and sunny in March in Chicago. Like you're going to be doing some crazy
Hit a little
stuff.
rooftop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the sun stays out now till almost 8 o'clock. I mean, that'd be a heck of a time.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I just didn't notice.
Levi's sleeping by 8 is what he's saying.
I got bingo to go to.
I was almost going to ask you, like, really? But I'm like, yeah, he's thinking.
Ooh, someone in the chat is implying some Joshua Jefferson news, but I'm trying to find it.
Let's check to Jake Brend for.
I'm checking the tweeters. Yeah. How do we get our inside man Jake Brend in here to give us some?
He can't come on live. Remember?
Speaking of coming, no.
I think Aiden's posting all that stuff on the Cyclone Fanatic Twitter.
There's like a couple.
There's nothing yet.
So, TJ Otzelberg. So Eugene Rapai, who's a reputable guy. So TJ Otzelberg on the latest Josh Jefferson. He has an MRI scheduled for tomorrow at 11 a.m. So we'll see how that goes. So.
Oh no.
Why?
I don't know. The fact that they're getting an MRI.
Well, he's been on the road.
I know.
I think it's like I don't know. I know nothing, but maybe it's a real one. Like the X-rays felt pretty fast in the locker room right after it happened.
I mean, X-rays can only show you so much. X-rays basically just tell you if a bone's broken. Like,
I don't know. I don't feel great about an MRI again. You know, if you're feeling like it's just maybe they're just checking for a full blown grade of it, but.
What if TJ comes out at 11 a.m. and says they did the MRI and there was a ton of dog in Jefferson? He's playing Friday.
Well, the dog game is very specifically an X-ray, but you know.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
fun pot over here.
I'll say this. All right, this is on the record for you, Tom. All right. The way Iowa State has played the last 2 games without Jefferson, they do not need him to beat Tennessee and Virginia, but they need him for Michigan.
Yeah, my guess is that
they
the
might
MRI
need him for
is.
They might need him for Tennessee.
I don't know that they do.
They have a lot of.
And of course,
they have a lot of respect. That's pretty good. Number 1 offensive rebounding team. Yeah, obviously, he's All-American.
Full disclosure, we would want him on the court.
Joshua Jefferson, but we're trying to say, like, if you for some reason can't get him back, like, I think you can beat Tennessee without him.
Yeah. But
Michigan,
I will say,
Michigan, you're wanting Josh Jefferson. But
with Jefferson on the floor, everybody understands how good he is. Sometimes you get a little lackadaisical with 5-7 seconds of not moving without the ball, and that stops the offense. Like the past 2 games when Jefferson's been out, everybody knows they have to move. They have to do stuff off screens, like back cuts. You have to do it if you want to produce on the offensive end, and we have, and it shows up.
Hey, if anybody's in Ames right now, drive down to Mary Greeley, slip that guy a 20 and say, make this right.
like fix his ankle or
No, just say he's fine.
oh, because like fixing his ankle is just like his job.
At this point, we got 4 games left. Let's run the wheels off of him. But don't, because he's got to go play in the NBA. So yeah.
Apparently, Milan in the post-game locker room dropped the feels like 44 thing.
Really love that.
I'm gonna pull that up. I say I need to get that pulled up here.
Shout out Tom and Dylan for starting the feels like 44 movement.
Tom can legitimately lay claim to that, to starting that thing. Let's see.
Pretty
Let me
sick.
pull this bad boy.
Can I read? No, but I can make up a saying. Not too bad.
Frontal lobe still going.
Oh,
Watch out once it gets developed. Watch out.
Matthias, get your damn screen share. Someone's got a screen share up here they get rid of.
While you're getting ready for that, Kansas is currently down 14-7, 8 minutes in.
Matthias, get rid of that. Get rid of that picture.
Stop yelling at me. I'm
Unshare it.
trying.
Unshare it.
Mom and
They're
Dad are
gone.
fighting again.
Feels like 44 came from Tom and Dylan Kuhn
All right. So here
in
we go.
reference to the 1944 Final Four run of Iowa State.
All right. Here is Milan Momcilovic in the locker room. Per Jake Brend.
Satisfied are you that good?
Man, pretty satisfied. I don't think a lot of people really doubted us without him. But it feels like 44.
Feels like 44.
Look at that little side smile. Wow.
Pretty
The little
satisfied.
side eye, he's like,
I don't think a lot of people really doubted us without him. But it feels like 44.
That's crazy. The little lick of the lips and the smile over to Jake
yeah,
is
that's
wild.
the good shit right there. That's the good shit. So there, the meme has made its way into the Cyclone locker room.
This is something. We got First Responder 72 saying Elite 8 could be Tech again the way they shoot the ball. Could be Tech.
I think the problem, the thing
Feels
with
like
Tech,
Tech
though,
again.
is like they have to just shoot the fuck out of. They have to just shoot the hell out of the ball every game to keep alive. Like,
Yeah.
Texas Tech can't win games unless they just shoot the daylights out of the ball. And like at some point, they're probably gonna not shoot the hell out of the ball. They're gonna have one off game or something like that. Like they just don't have enough scoring from away, from outside the 3-point line. They just don't have enough scoring at the rim to be able to beat a lot of teams, like to be able to beat the high end teams without going crazy from three. So, I mean, if it is Tech again, great. We know how to destroy them. But it'd be nice to I would say its defense is good against everybody. It's best against teams that have not played against it before because they're like, what the absolute shit is happening? But if Texas Tech is the team, I'm not like I'm feeling pretty good about that since the last time you played them, you beat them by 100 points.
A bajillion.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I just, yeah, I know. When does Virginia Tennessee start?
6.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Okay.
No, sorry, 5:10. So in about 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. Okay. I'll be curious to watch because I haven't watched any of them. I haven't watched either of those teams at all this year. But I'm hoping Tennessee has like a weirdly good shooting day from outside and gets rid of Virginia and then comes back against us and goes back to the mean where basically nobody's a threat from outside.
I think for our defense, you do want Tennessee. Like offensive rebounding is one thing.
Yeah.
That is something I would like to have Jefferson back for. But when you have a guard like Gillespie that you just like, here, take the ball, score for us against our defense, like that's not going to happen. You have to swing the ball. You have to go like side to side. You have to move the defense. And with Gillespie doing step backs, going front, like towards the basket, that's not going to work. It's not going to move anything, and they'll be stuck.
And their offensive rebounding percentage is also based on them playing in the SEC, which is very mediocre this year. So like I know that they have the number one offensive rebounding team. I get it. They're great. They're a great offensive rebounding team. But do I fear them more than I fear Arizona? No, not at all. So like, but Arizona's also way better at pretty much everything. Oh, here we go. Tom, I'm having a bachelor party in KC and I'm leaving Sunday. Any good spots I should watch the game at if we're playing?
Kelly's, that is the Iowa State bar, but that's in Westport. If you are downtown, Power and Light, there's 8+ different bars there to watch as well.
They'll probably have it they might have it on the big screen.
They might as well. If it's nice, well, I guess not even nice weather, they still have it out. They'll have it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Kelly's ton of sports bars there.
Or Power and Light anywhere in Power and Light.
Two great options too.
Yeah,
so nothing to go wrong with there.
Yeah. Let's see. When does Michigan play?
Michigan played yesterday against St. Louis. They were the first game of the day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they beat St. Louis. That's right. And then they played. Wait, do we know? I'm all fucked up.
They played the winner of Bama Tech. Very excited for it because Bama and Tech are basically the same teams, except Texas Tech has a better guard, I would say. So it'd be hilarious if both those teams, because you have to shoot well to win. If they just don't shoot well, it would be like the first to 45. It would be awesome. But yeah, they play at night. That'll be a fun game. It would be awesome. But that's the last game of the day, I want to say. So.
Yeah. I mean, either of those teams I think matches up really, really bad with Michigan, but I don't know. The more I look at Michigan, though,
their guards are stinky. They're stinky. I'm plugging my nose for the people listening to the audio. Elliot Cadeau does not move me. Burnett, I'm a Burnett guy. He's a good shooter, but he's been in college since 2021 for a reason. He's been to 3 different schools for a reason.
Yeah. I know I'm supposed to be terrified of Michigan because every analyst ever is picking Michigan except for Jay Billis. But like, I don't know. Granted, we got to beat either Tennessee or Virginia to get to them.
Yeah, we gotta get the Sweet 16 monkey off our back.
But if you can take care of that matchup, which I think either of those teams you can beat them without Joshua Jefferson. Especially Tennessee, I feel all right with beating him without. I feel pretty decent beating him without Joshua Jefferson. Like I'm personally more scared of Tennessee or more scared of Kentucky than I am Tennessee, personally. But if you get to that Elite Eight game, I don't know. Michigan doesn't terrify me. Like I realize that Langeborg is really good. I know he's great. He's awesome. But the tournament's guard play, and Iowa State's guards are way better than Michigan's. Way better. And Tam Lipy is playing the best basketball of his career right now.
Got to keep it going.
And Torrey is playing the best basketball his season too.
The 2 things for Michigan for me, again, you got to be Tennessee or Virginia, but Mara's passing. Mara is a great passer in the post, and he's 7'4". So doubles do not phase him at all. You got to be physical with him. And then Morez Johnson, because he's maybe the best defensive player to guard Milan. 6'8", can move his feet.
Good
huge.
Point here in the chat. Michigan is 165th in the country at turnover percentage. So they are a touch on the turnover prone side.
That'd be huge because with Mara down low and Johnson on Milan, like we have to score in transition. You need those buckets without the defense set.
For reference, Kentucky is 98th in turnover percentage. Kentucky's better at taking care of the ball than Michigan. And Kentucky just got their ass handed to them by Iowa State forcing 1 trillion turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Another comment in the chat about Kentucky beating Tennessee twice this year. I said it earlier, watched them both. Kentucky out-physical Tennessee. That team was more physical than Tennessee. And after what we saw today, yeah.
And Iowa State drastically out physicaled Kentucky. Kentucky was fucking miserable, man. Like the middle 25, 30 minutes of that game, they were miserable.
10-minute mark of the second half, they were wanting to go home.
You saw the Kentucky guards tried to be physical back because they were getting upset. They're like, okay, we'll try to be physical back. Guess what? It just wasn't legal defense. They got called because they were shoving.
And then they had like 3 fouls in like 10 seconds. It's like,
it was like they shoved Milan on a screen, they fouled Milan on a shot, and then they body tame it. It's like, I love you guys trying to be physical. It's cute. It's cool.
It's adorable.
It's not how it works.
And then there was like Colin Chandler like saying to the ref, he's like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, I don't know, fucking not foul them. Like, don't be shit.
That's why
TJ, don't be dumb.
You see TJ on the sideline yelling, show your hands, because then the refs like see your hands, they don't like, they're not hand checking, and Kentucky's over there just 2 hands on the back. It's just hilarious.
Like it's just there's a difference between a well-coached defensive team and a team that is athletic enough to play good defense but is not particularly well coached on that end. And TJ's defense is a bunch of psychos going around trying to they've decided that ball is theirs on every single possession, and there's not a lot you can do to that that you can do against something like that when you have a group of players that, those guys are in TJ's system because they fit in TJ's system. They were developed in TJ's system. They're there to play that system. Kentucky's roster is a $22 million group of mercenaries that do not fit into any system. They weren't recruited to fit any system. They have not developed in any system. They are just individually athletic and talented players, but do not play as a team. And we saw today that, and Iowa State's roster is no slouch. Iowa State is a very, very good roster, but
he was injured this year.
Yeah, he was injured like the whole year.
That is why.
But Iowa State, I've seen lots and lots of tweets about it, like that Iowa State was just like, if you were going to put together a coaching video of like playing team defense, the main portion of footage in that video would be Iowa State playing defense today against Kentucky, because they were damn near perfect. Like they played basically perfect defense for 30 minutes in the middle of that game. And, towards the end, they all clearly like let off the gas, and I don't really give a shit about the last like 4 minutes of that game. Nothing that happened in that stretch matters, but it's hard to overcome that when you have a swarming defense like that is just, they're pretty much just always where they need to be. Their hands are active. They're poking the ball out when you're used to being able to catch the ball in the high post and keep it here and then kind of back down and do one of these. But if you do that for more than about 0.5 seconds, Tam Lipy's hand is going poof, and just punching that. He's peanut punching that thing out of your hand. And then that speeds up your clock. And if you're not used to playing faster on offense and keeping the ball moving faster, this defense eats you alive.
Shout out Peanut Tillman.
Shout out Peanut Tillman. Like the defense just eats when a team has a bunch of indecisive passers, indecisive ball handlers. This defense eats those players for breakfast, and you have to be composed against Iowa State, and they just weren't. And there's a lot of college basketball players that just are not composed enough to play against this defense, and that's why TJ runs it. Like, you could never get away with this defense in the NBA. The players are just too good. The players are too good. They're too good at passers. They're too good at playmakers. They're too composed. Like, it would be difficult to run this no middle defense in the NBA. You just can't do it. But in college, you can take advantage of this because guys are they have fewer, they have less experience. They have fewer dimensions to their game. They're not as good at playmakers. They're not as good at passers. There are individually great playmakers and passers like a Christian Anderson, stuff like that, who can really handle pressure pretty well and actually deals with Iowa State's traps pretty well. Kentucky has none of them. Most teams do not have a Christian Anderson that can successfully and consistently navigate Iowa State's trapping. Most teams do not have that. And if Texas Tech doesn't win today, you're just about out of teams on this side of the bracket that have players that are good enough to consistently navigate Iowa State's trapping defense. And especially like Michigan, if they run into Michigan in the Elite Eight, you're going to be trying to prepare for that defense on one walkthrough. one or two walkthroughs, you're trying to figure out how you're going to attack Iowa State's defense, a defense which is absolutely nothing like anything you've seen the rest of the season. Michigan doesn't play anything like Iowa State's defense in the Big Ten. Big Ten, I believe, is incredibly soft. But, two, they don't play anything like this, and they're going to be catching it on 2 days rest if Iowa State wins and if Michigan, if they get to the Elite Eight. Iowa State's in a great spot right now. They're playing good team defense. They are getting tons and tons of open shots. We saw in the second half when they make them that they can beat anybody by 20.
Yeah, I really like this bracket, that the way it's set up for Iowa State. That was obviously pre-Joshua Jefferson injury. And, it still kind of sets up that way, but the odds of everything that we want to have happen exponentially grow if Joshua Jefferson is playing. And obviously the goal on Friday night was to get through Kentucky and see what happens from there. And with it being a low ankle sprain, that gives you, some hope going into Friday, which, he'll have by then 7 days of not running on a basketball court at full game speed. Prior to then, you hope, at least, he doesn't need to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lead up, but he needs to be on the court for shoot around on Thursday, and maybe not even then, but, because he could probably just give it a go anyways without doing any of that. But, he said yesterday the swelling has come down a little bit, and that's going to be the key. Obviously, it's probably still going to be painful for the next week and then beyond that, but how much swelling is there, what the grade of the sprain is, and that's what the MRI is probably going to tell us. And we'll just, we'll pray. We'll pray from here that he's on the court on Friday afternoon or night.
With the team as a whole, start with the Kentucky game, I thought we were a little soft coming out. But TJ's defense, you have to be physical all 40 minutes. Were like Kentucky, cool. You were stronger, tougher than us for 4 minutes. Guess what? You have to do that for the 36 other minutes. No team is really going to do that against TJ's defenses, especially for the full game on offense too. And I think it just goes to show that those guys in Lexington were there because they were paid to be there. The guys in Ames, they were there because they want to be there. Like, the offseason isn't easy. The practices, they're way tougher than games are with TJ's system. Those defenses are insane, especially all the offseason stuff they do on those football fields. Those guys are there because they want to be there. And I think you see that in a do or die game like this. I've been harping on Taman all year because I know the player he is. That step back three, that's a 2024 Big 12 tournament Taman 3 right there. That was a great three. Career high 26 points, 10 assists. Unreal.
Cy-Fan, that is a usual thing happening, but shout out to your profile picture there. That's the most important thing here.
We got Muppet Tom doing pottery.
Love
Hell
it.
yeah.
And actually, what's funny too is Mark Pope himself has been gushing about Iowa State's defense all the last couple of days too, and he's been when he's been asked about it. So CW just posted a tweet. That said, he asked Mark Pope what makes Iowa State's defense so difficult to play against, even when you know what's coming. And because Mark Pope was previously at BYU, so he's played against TJ's defense before, so he's familiar with it. He said they're unique in the fact of how they push up the board. It's a real credit to TJ and a real credit to his team. He said, I'm not totally convinced. They have a couple of world-class defenders on that team, but that roster is not made up of defensive specialists, aside from maybe a couple guys. But their team concept is really good, and they hide a lot of it by being over-aggressive and putting you in compromising positions and getting you sped up. And it certainly showed that today. And that's the thing, is maybe you say Killian Toure is a defensive specialist, but he's knocking down and taking shots now. So that's terrifying.
That spin move off the drive.
It was disgusting. Oh my God.
And
to keep the pivot and under control. Yeah.
God, that was
nasty business.
Yeah. That was disgusting. Is for other teams, they want Killian Toure to be a defensive specialist on this team, because now that he's making and taking confident shots, that is horrifying for a scouting report. Because now he's taking dudes off the dribble, he's taking step back threes and shit like that, taking step back middies.
Someone on Twitter just called me Milan cheese curd Dirk.
You did it again. You started saying.
I know. Milan.
Milan.
Lock in, Matthias. Fuck.
It's
Lock
so
in.
funny. It's so funny because every time you go to say it, because now you're all the way in your head, you got the yips now. Where every time you'll start be like Milan.
I got the mid-season Torre shot selection going on right now.
Yeah. just can't quite land it.
We got 4 more games to figure this out. Lock in. Gotta lock in.
And what was fun today about today too is that like a lot of Iowa State scoring came at the hoop, which is like you would expect against Kentucky's athleticism and length that they would have had to do it on jump shots basically. But they did a great job just getting to the rim, getting, running off screens, attacking the brim. And I think today they were more aggressive today attacking the rim than I think they had been for the last 2 months of the season, basically. I don't think we'll fully appreciate how like crafty Taman is driving to the rim until he's gone. Hopefully in about a month, or hopefully in not for 3 weeks or so. But he's so good at changing his tempo, going through like just on a single drive, just changing his tempo, changing his angle, his attack angle, whatever it is, to really give larger defenders a big problem. And that allows Iowa State to keep attacking the rim. And when you can do that, that opens up those kicks, and it's just woof. Spinning, winning, and leaving damage behind per Nate Burleson on CBS.
Put it on a shirt.
Spinning,
right now.
winning, and leaving damage behind is a good phrase for Iowa State.
Put it on the shirt.
Yeah, right here. Lots of pushing him with downhill speed, drew a lot of fouls and couple and ones. Kentucky had Iowa State in the bonus, or Kentucky was in the bonus with 14 minutes left in the second half.
We were in the bonus, you mean?
Or like Kentucky had 6 fouls, so we were in the bonus. We were shooting free throws with 14 minutes left in the second half. Like Kentucky was in big foul trouble.
How low key here? How worried were you that they was coming down to a free throw game there for a little bit?
I was not.
I wasn't too worried.
14-minute mark of the second half, was still like a 6-point game.
Nah. That thought had not crossed my mind.
It creeped in my brain.
We shot pretty good from the line today, didn't we?
It felt like we shot good.
71%, 17 to 24.
Tom, over the 70% mark.
Up. That's what we're talking about. It didn't feel too bad. Milan missed 1 when he was shooting 3. Buchanan hit 2. I remember those. Dom hit 1 and 2. That's all I need from him. Not going to complain about that at all.
Yeah. And Blake Buchanan, 3 of 4. That gets a big hell yeah from me.
JD says he's not changing his sock shirts or
sweatshirt until April. I'm wearing my gear all month long. Yeah.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah. Dom Nelson's 4 minutes. He only played 4 minutes, but Dom Nelson's minutes today were super valuable. They were great. That we talked about it a little bit earlier, but his little stretch there, the last couple possessions of the first half to get Iowa State a 2-for-1 there was huge. Because you turned a 3-point deficit into a 1-point lead going into half, and that was Dom Nelson that allowed that to happen. Even if he didn't knock down the 3, but that possession existed because of Dom Nelson. So, absolutely.
St. John's is currently up 23-20 on Kansas. 4:33 left in the first.
Fucking Texas. Can't believe Texas beat fucking Gonzaga.
Texas, the Cinderella.
The worst Cinderella of all time.
Come on, Tom.
I've never rooted harder against
their
a
team is fun. I'm also young enough that the Texas stuff going on I wasn't too involved with, but their team's fun. I like their team. I don't hate Sean Miller. Good guy, Sean Miller. He's done nothing wrong ever. He's done everything by the book.
Sean Miller, noted player buyer of the rules. Yeah, Texas is the one Cinderella that you could not pay me to root for. I mean, you could pay me to root for him, but I'm not.
Okay. Feels unnecessary.
Now we've really crossed the Rubicon. We've got Avatom. We've got Muppet Avatom, the stashed airbender, but he doesn't have a stash.
I like Muppet Tom. Yeah.
We have Avatar. We have Avatar, Muppet Tom, Muppet Avatom, but he has no stash. There's no
if
mustache.
Texas is a Cinderella, I'm rooting for the evil stepmother.
Yeah. You could Texas is the least appealing Cinderella in NCAA.
They're not a Cinderella.
not.
Oh my God,
They're an
Cinderella.
SEC team. Power, in my opinion, power conference teams cannot be Cinderellas. Period.
What about that NC State team with big boy DJ Burns?
Fuck
Oh
'em.
man,
Nope. They can be fun. They're not Cinderellas though.
Power
They're a Power
5
5
team.
roster. No.
Words are hard today.
Words are hard. Yeah, indeed. Iowa State. Unfortunately, I feel
Struggling.
like the 2 next to our name on the broadcast might disqualify us as the Cinderella. Actually, the Cinderella left. The actual, in my opinion, the last man. Shout out to High Point for playing Arkansas close, but the last real available Cinderella that has yet to play yet, I think, is UCLA. If Mick Cronin can take down Dan Hurley in the absolute douche canoe fest up there.
So are those refs tonight during that game wearing bulletproof vests?
They're already drunk.
they're already drunk.
Horrible.
I think UCLA could win that.
I think
Bill Dale has to play. He's questionable. He's the best
Yeah.
player. He's the best scorer. He has to play.
Yeah. If UCLA wins that, that's your last remaining but they're a power conference team.
UCLA and basketball, and then Texas University as the Cinderellas is pretty funny.
Texas University is psychotic.
What?
University of Texas.
Okay, whatever. Come on. No.
Well, I mean, there's only a couple universities that go by this university versus university of this, as far as because Indiana University is one. That's one of the only ones that goes by state then university versus university of state.
Will Texas people get mad if it's not University of Texas at Austin
cares?
or however that goes?
I don't give a fuck about them. I'm just saying it sounds weird to say Texas University.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, West Virginia. There you go. Indiana and West Virginia. Tom, did you take your AirPods out by any chance?
They both died.
That's rough. Because I can hear me.
It's a good thing we're towards the end of this.
That's true.
Are Williams and Bloom going live tonight? We have no idea.
Probably not because I don't know.
Stay
Friday,
tuned.
Jake and CW recorded a post game on Friday. I don't know if Williams and Bloom are doing anything tonight. Okay, this is not me. Tom's AirPods died for a second.
I got one back up. I slipped it back into the charger when it died right away. So now we're just going one by one. I need new AirPods because I've had them in since the show started and they died in an hour 13. That's ridiculous.
That's not good.
No.
Yeah. Do we get I guess is there anything left from today's game we need to touch on? I think we got pretty much everything.
Tom, are you boys going live tomorrow night or what's the scoop?
Yep. 7 p.m. per usual. We'll have David on as well to talk about the women's end of the season as well and their loss to Syracuse. And then we'll talk about this game with Kentucky, maybe touch on Tennessee State, obviously with Jefferson. Big game with Kentucky, and then preview Tennessee and Virginia. Whichever team wins, we'll preview how they play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
So we'll have that. Then we'll have normal CF coverage throughout the whole week. We're back here again for post game after the Sweet 16 game on Friday.
I assume the schedule is going to be the same for Williams and Bren, that they won't be able to record live inside the stadium.
They'll have to go back to the hotel.
Yep, we will be live right after the game on Friday night. Whoever Iowa State plays.
Tom paid to be on the show. All right, yeah. So I guess we're gonna have to find out tonight exactly what the opponent looks like for Tennessee or Virginia.
Tune in now. They're tipping off, so
Just
get
tip
it.
off.
Tennessee's up 3-2 early on.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Word. So yeah. We'll wrap her up for today then. So want to say thank you to our sponsors over at the Iowa Sailing Company in Cumming, Iowa. Head on down to their tasting room. It's awesome. Give their Prairie Fire whiskey, the 1858 vodka, all that stuff. Give that all a try. They make great products. They're great people. Really happy to be sponsored with, to be partnered with them throughout the entire postseason here. So we'll wrap her up. Thanks for everybody for listening to this episode of the CF After Dark Post Game. For Matthias Schwarzkopf, Tom Turner, I'm Levi Stevenson. We'll see you guys again on Friday. Well, tomorrow night for Offensively Offensive. And we will see you on Friday.